You are now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Polls. My name's Derek. These are my polls for the week of June the 9th. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Follow me on Twitter at the Weekly Polls. If you're here from my Twitter page, what's up, homies? Got a good chunk of comics to talk to you about this week, you guys. Let's get started. First up, I have a digital poll. Hailstone number 2. If you've watched my previous videos, I reviewed Hailstone number 1. Hailstone is awesome. It's only available on Comixology. It is an original. If you have Amazon Prime, you get Comixology for free. If you don't, it's $5.99 a month. Totally recommend. I love Comixology. I read digitally all the time. Comixology offers thousands of free books with Comixology Unlimited. You should definitely check it out. Hailstone is sick. It's a good mystery, horror, western story. The title of the book is the name of the town, Hailstone, set in the Civil War time period. People are going missing. People are dying. Nobody knows why. The town is suspicious of the Union Army factory that's in the town. Sheriff Denton goes in the woods with his posse looking for these missing folks, particularly the most recent missing girl. The sheriff and Tobias, they get rescued by a Native American tribe. They've had people go missing too. They're also very scared and concerned for what's causing this. Good cliffhanger at the end of this. I love Hailstone. I can't wait for issue number 3. Download Comixology. Check this out, you guys. Alright, next up we have The Amazing Spider-Man number 68. First of all, Ed Brisson co-wrote this book with Nick Spencer. I love this issue. Last issue kind of lost me. This issue has drawn me back in. Teresa Parker confronts this man known as the Finisher. The Finisher is the one who killed Teresa and Peter's parents. Get this nice, beautiful double-page spread of Ned explaining how he's alive. Previous issue, I was very confused about how Ned was alive. But back in this issue, explaining to us every detail of how Ned is alive in this double-page spread. A lot of back referencing, but it was worth it. It was excellent. It made sense. Spidey's not in this issue a lot, but a lot of our questions do get answered. The build up to Sinister War is just inching closer and closer. I'm super excited for Sinister War. Comes out this July. The last page, we get Spidey head to head with Chance, the Foreigner, a whole bunch of villains, Jack-o'-lantern. It's a beautiful page. I love this issue. This is going to be a massive event this summer. The last 2 pages, not going to show those to you on my green screen. The last 2 pages, once again, we get Doc Ock. Doc Ock recruits one other member from the Sinister Six. Not going to spoil who it was. Issue number 70 is serving as the prelude for Sinister War. Issue 69 comes out June the 23rd. There's a nice double-page, double-fold-out advertisement for Sinister War. Sinister Six versus Savage Six versus Spider-Man. You don't want to miss this great Spidey event. I can't wait. If you're not reading Spidey right now, issue 70 is the prelude, as I said before. So if you want to jump in, I would just go ahead and jump in on issue 70 and then pull Sinister War. This is going to be great, you guys. Next, we have another Spidey title. Another one of my favorites from Chip Zdarsky, the What If series. Spider-Man, Spider Shadow, number 3. I love this cover. It's super cool. I love the purple. I love all the colors that they used. It's sick. Sick! Okay, if you haven't read any Spider Shadow, skip through this video because I'm going to give some spoilers because I can't talk about this issue with talking about the previous issues. If you don't want me to spoil Spider Shadow for you, skip ahead, go to the next comic I review. Don't watch this. Spidey is killing villains. According to this issue so far, he's killed 11 of them. He's kept the Venom symbiote. It's slowly taken him over. He's going on a rampage. He's already killed Kingpin. He's killed Scorpion. He's killed Shocker. I mean, the list goes on and on. Who would you expect to lead the charge against Spider-Man? None other than J. Jonah Jameson. And he has recruited the Sinister Six to take Spidey down. Spider-Man's unstoppable right now. He's just killing everybody. The only original member of the Sinister Six that's not there is Dr. Octopus. We have Brock Ock. I'm honestly not real sure how this happened, but Eddie Brock has Doc Ock's tentacles on him. If you know, please get in the comments and let me know, because I have no idea where this came from. But I like it. It's super cool. And I also really like the name Brock Ock. The art throughout this whole issue, the whole series, it's been fantastic. This story is fantastic. This is the most fun I'm having with Spider-Man right now. This issue, it goes down. Tons of fighting, beautiful double-page spreads. It's the Sinister Six versus Spider-Man, and you don't even really know who to root for. Here comes that line of, should my hero kill, should he not? I don't know, I don't have that answer, but I love this story. As I said, tons of action, tons of death, tears. This book is a roller coaster of emotions. Everybody gets together and everybody's involved. The Fantastic Four, Jameson, the Sinister Six, Mary Jane, Black Cat, they're all in this issue, and it's great. There's a massive cliffhanger at the end of it. Not gonna spoil it. We'll talk about that when issue 4 comes out. Holy crap. The only small detail that I probably spoiled by you looking at through these panels is that the Beetle is dead this issue. Big deal. He's killing all of the villains. Spider Shadow, it's fun, it's fantastic. We never get the sight of Spidey. If you're not reading this, you need to go pick this up. Spider Shadow is so much fun. I love it. Chip Zdarsky is amazing. Don't want to miss this, you guys. All right, now we're going to dive into my indie titles. First up, issue number 3, Geiger. Man, I love Geiger. Geiger is so freaking cool. This is my favorite issue of Geiger so far. We get a lot more backstory about Tariq Geiger. The beginning of this book starts off where issue 2 left off. Geiger saved the kids in the desert from the giant mutant bugs, begging Geiger to take them anywhere but where they are because they're trying to run from Vegas. Geiger tells them to go home. They have no home. And then we get some good flashbacks. It pans directly to when Geiger and the King of Vegas first meet, and I loved it. Spoiler alerts, if you haven't read Geiger number 3 and you don't want me to spoil Geiger at all, fast forward. Here we go. Geiger locked his family in the fallout shelter before the nuke hit. King blows open the vault, and there lies his dead wife and child. Geiger loses his shit. Last issue, we learned that Geiger messed up the King's face. Here we find out how that happened. I love this page. The King is terrible. I can't wait for Geiger to finally end him. And if it's not Geiger, somebody's going to, because let's face it, so far if you've been reading this series, the King is trash. The book is full of so much great detail of Geiger. I like to call Geiger Derek Powers Jr. because he looks like Derek Powers from Batman Beyond. But I love Geiger. I love this story so far. It's super good. I love Geiger's purpose for doing everything, and that's him being a father. Surprise, you guys. I'm going to be a dad myself this December. So I'm really relating with this story. Geiger's a family man. After it shows Geiger messing up the King's face, we pan back to the present, and Geiger asks the kids, where are we going? So ultimately, Geiger's purpose before was guarding the fallout shelter to guard his family and wait for it was safe to let them out. Well, unfortunately, they are deceased. So now Geiger's newfound purpose is going to be protecting these kids. I can't wait to see what that dynamic brings. I hope Geiger and these kids become close. I'm super stoked. This series has the potential to be massive as far as story and plot lines go. If you're not reading Geiger, jump on this. Geiger is a great character with a great story coming up behind him. You don't want to miss this, you guys. All right, up next, we have issue number 2 of The Good Asian. I love The Good Asian. This is a great series so far, you guys. This is a good detective story. It's gritty. Good historical references in here. In 1936, as I've said in my previous video, I talked about The Good Asian number 1. We'll just do a quick recap of all of that. 1936, the Chinese were banned from immigrating to America after Pearl Harbor and World War II. People were scared of the Chinese, took the Chinese, and we put them in camps, whether they did anything wrong or not. It was super messed up. If you don't know your history, you need to learn it. A good example of taking a story and blending it in with actual historical events. Issue 1, we established that Edison Hark, he's looking for Ivy Chen, who is Mason Haraway's lover / maid. Mason is the man who raised Edison because Edison's mother was killed. He didn't actually adopt Edison, but he did raise him. Ivy Chen's gone missing. Edison has been recruited to San Francisco to look for her by Frankie Haraway, his brother. Like I said, he wasn't adopted. End of issue 1, Edison found a dead body and a child. The dead body of an American killed by a hatchet in Chinatown. It looks really bad. Edison's introduced to a Chinese lawyer named Terrence Chang. Edison doesn't like him. He sees him as a bootlicker. He sees him as someone trying to be American when he knows deep down they're never going to accept him for who he is. He sits down with Terrence. Terrence tells him of the story of this hatchet man named Wei Long. 30 years ago, he's a member of the Tongs. He was known for chopping up and killing rival gang members. His hatchet murder, the rumors are coming up that he's back. Seems kind of far-fetched because it was 30 years ago, but I mean, who knows? And then gets some clues, and then he follows them up, and they lead him to this place called the Jade Club. This Jade Club is a club that's ran by the Chinese to entertain Americans. Edison hates it. I love the color schemes in here. I love the green. I love the art in this book. It's so good. At page to page, the mood and the colors follow with the tone of what's going on. At the Jade Club, Eddie finds Victoria Haraway, who is his sister. She hates Edison. We find out in this issue she hates him mainly because he always takes side with Mason, her father. At the end of the issue, she tells Edison some pretty damning things of Mason. Not going to spoil that. We'll end up talking about that in the next video when issue 3 does come out. A fight breaks out in this club. Terrence and another man is attacked. The other man is killed with a hatchet to the throat. The attacker is wearing this big giant costume. Edison chases him down. We get a good double-page fight here. Edison does his best to keep up. He makes a funny joke about how I wish a Chinaman wouldn't kick and he would put his dukes up. I really like that reference. It was pretty funny. Good Asian is a great piece of noir. It's a great piece of historical fiction. At the very end of the book, there is a couple pages that they've put in here with pictures of actual Chinese internment camps with histories of everything that happened back in the 1930s. It's really good. I really appreciate everything they're doing with this series, bringing important issues to light while telling us a good noir detective story. If you're not reading The Good Asian and you love crime and you love noir as much as I do, you need to pick this up. It's great. Okay, I'm doing something I've never done before. I don't have a pick of the week this week, but I do have a wild card.
What the hell do you mean by a wild card?
Quite simply, I bought a comic that I did not specifically order and have in my pull box. I picked it up because there was a ton of hype about it on Twitter. Everybody was buzzing about it. I couldn't keep myself away from it. I had to buy it. I'm glad I did. Bunny Mask, #1 from Aftershock. Holy crap, you guys. This book was nuts. I didn't know what to expect when I read this book. I didn't know what to expect at all. I was like, okay, here's the hype. I'm going to follow it. I'm glad I did. Holy freaking shit. This is a wonderful horror story. It took some crazy turns from the first page to the end. This was the most captivating comic I've read in a very long time. Damn. I'm going to tell you as much as I can without spoiling it, because if you're like me, I had no idea what this is about, so maybe if I give you a little bit of an overview, it might pique your interest. The main protagonist, Tyler Severin, he's a CPS nurse. Him and his partner get called out to the Foster's home to check on the child named B. Foster. Tyler is kidnapped by her father. He's forced to dig in this cave with B, looking for a revelation. The father has these inner voices from this entity called the Snitch. We have no idea what any of this is. Tyler is then freed by this woman in the cave wearing a bunny mask. She came out of nowhere. All of that is set in the beginning of the book 14 years ago. Then it jumps to the present. Tyler's walking down the street with one of his friends and he sees this bunny mask in the window of this art gallery. He goes in and there's bunny mask art everywhere. Turns out it's the daughter, B. Foster, has all this stuff set up. She was believed to have been dead. That's pretty much all I can tell you without giving the whole thing away. But man, this book was awesome. I totally recommend Bunny Mask. If you didn't pick it up, totally worth it. This was a great week for comics, you guys. I loved Bunny Mask. Alright, you guys, that does it for this week. Like, subscribe, share, comment, follow me on Twitter @TheWeeklyPulls. I'm super active on Twitter. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you read any of the books that I've read, get in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you're reading other things, let me know what you think, especially on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching the Weekly Pulls. We'll catch you next week.